She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
When the wheels fall off.
You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
She thought she'd go viral for all the right reasons. Instead, Jasmine Crockett set the internet on fire for all the wrong ones. A rising star in the Democratic Party, known for fiery soundbites and dramatic stage presence, Crockett had built her brand around going viral. But when she stepped onto Greg Gutfeld's stage, expecting applause and adoration, she ended up in the middle of a live meltdown.
She's number one at being dumb, the new face of the DNC. Gather round, cause that's our Jasmine.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman.
It was the kind of collapse you can't look away from, exposing not just one politician's weakness, but a disturbing trend in modern politics itself.
Jasmine Crockett's political strategy has always been heavy on performance. She knows how to capture a camera, deliver a spicy line, and push a hot-button topic straight into social media feeds. It worked until it didn't. Because when she showed up on Gutfeld's program, it was like a script falling apart in real time. Gutfeld, a master of dry-cutting sarcasm, wasn't interested in the show. He was there to test her, to challenge her, and he delivered questions as precise as scalpels. Crockett, caught off guard, found her well-practiced theatrics collapsing under the weight of real debate.
Or literally, it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you.
That's not very woke, is it? Of course, Crockett isn't the only Democrat who's opposed to interracial marriage, or else more Democrats would have voted for this one. Racist! All right, stop it!
The moment things truly began to spiral was when Crockett brought up Florida Representative Byron Donalds' marriage. She attacked him for marrying a white woman, a comment so charged, so backward, that even her own supporters flinched. It was as if she had ripped the mask right off her own brand of progressivism and revealed something deeply uncomfortable underneath. Gutfeld pounced instantly, refusing to let it pass, and the audience could practically feel the oxygen drain from the room. There was no applause this time, just stunned disbelief.
Plantation.
Tyrus, I go to you for no particular reason. Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices. Because we all get sucked into this. Like, this is... If you're going to talk about black history, at least know it. This is... At least know it, okay?
Instead of backing down, Crockett doubled down. She tried to pivot into outrage and victimhood, shifting blame and stoking division. But Gutfeld wouldn't let her change the subject. He kept the pressure steady, exposing the hypocrisy with surgical calm. Crockett had walked in expecting cheers. She ended up taking blow after blow without a single moment to recover. It was a public dismantling so brutal you could almost feel secondhand embarrassment through the screen.
Kilmeade, she's getting to be the face of that party.
I know, thanks to your show.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more popular, this or The View on Gutfeld. But a couple of things. Did you see, at first I thought she was doing it for comedic purposes, but you watch back, nobody had a response. They didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And she's like, oh, really? Farming? Yes, it's called eating, farming. America's got the best farmers in the world. There's glory in doing it. people do it, and the people don't do it by hand anymore. This isn't 1820. So I was just stunned by what she's saying. But the weird thing is, she probably left that room thinking she knocked it out of the park. And I don't think that anyone can stop her from being the face of the party, except Bernie Sanders, who's 111 years old, talking about oligarchs.
Things only got worse when Crockett tried to talk about farming and immigration. She claimed, in a tone that practically dripped with condescension, that Americans simply didn't want to work in agriculture anymore. Only immigrants would do those jobs. It was supposed to sound informed, but instead it felt elitist and clueless. Gutfeld calmly reminded viewers that farming is woven into the country's identity, a source of pride for countless families. The panel joined in, exposing how disconnected Crockett's narrative was from the real struggles of working Americans. She seemed stunned, like no one had ever dared to question her script before, and her confidence drained away second by second.
Do you have an opinion on this? Or should I move on to somebody?
No, I just... It has to come from me.
Yes.
Okay? None of y'all are qualified. Not just, for one thing, I'm mad at Charmaine the guy because he should have kicked her out. See, the problem is that we are allowing our own culture to be openly racist and get away with it. Now, if a white person is offended by that, and they should be, they say something, it's like, it's not the same thing. But if you say that, and another brother looks at you and goes, man, you wrong for that. And I don't want you on my show. Get the hell out. Because I'm telling you right now, if I was not on the show, which happens sometimes, and someone was sitting in his chair and he was complaining about black men this and black that, and they shouldn't be here, and you know what happens when a white woman marries a black guy, you would not have seen that guy in the next segment. He would have kicked his ass off, because you're not going to talk about somebody that I care about like that, or another person like that. That's the problem.
Now, she claims that she wasn't talking about Abbott's wheelchair at all. Yet she's mentioned Abbott's wheels before. In 2022, she posted Beto's rolling around the state. Where's Abbott rolling to? And according to the Washington Free Beacon, Crockett also liked several Facebook comments referring to Abbott as Hot Wheels back in 2020.
But the true knockout blow was still coming. Gutfeld brought up Crockett's history of mocking Governor Greg Abbott's wheelchair on social media. Crockett tried to deny it, but receipts from her own accounts surfaced in seconds, proving she'd liked and shared jokes mocking his disability. The audience gasped, realizing this wasn't just an off-the-cuff slip. It was part of a pattern. Crockett's entire brand of fighting for justice and equality crumbled right there, exposed as nothing more than a stage act, masking contradictions so glaring even her allies couldn't defend them.
Jesse, they called Musk a Nazi, and next thing you know, you got swastikas on cars. They called Trump Hitler and a Nazi and a fascist, and he got shot. So I don't really ever see that happening on the Republican side when we make fun of Democrats. It's also about the supporters. It's not just the leaders. It seems like Democrats are easily programmed to do bad things.
Yes, they are. They're very easily programmed, Greg.
I made you say that.
Through it all, Gutfeld stayed cool. He didn't interrupt or yell. He let Crockett dig her own grave with every rehearsed buzzword. He waited calmly as she tried to regain footing, only to trip over her own contradictions again and again. It was like watching someone fight a mirror. Each desperate swing landed on herself. The audience, at first shocked, soon shifted to laughter. Not because Crockett was funny, but because her implosion was impossible to spin.
First they cursed, now they thirst for blood. Jasmine Crockett is upping her temper tantrums, now saying the only way Democrats can win elections is by throwing hands.
I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. It's Ted Cruz. I mean, this dude has to be knocked over the head, hard, right?
What made the meltdown so unforgettable was how Crockett tried to claw back her image. She claimed the panel was intimidated by her. She tried to rally the audience with passion, big words, righteous anger. But the harder she tried, the clearer it became. She was grasping at straws. Her gestures grew more frantic, her voice wavered, and every new comeback was weaker than the last. Viral clips of the moment began flooding social media before the show even ended. Reaction videos, memes, and commentary piled up like a digital avalanche, burying any chance she had at controlling the story. Gutfeld had done more than challenge a guest. He'd exposed something deeper, the rise of politicians who treat Congress like a TikTok stage, performing for applause instead of delivering results. These so-called viral politicians care more about trending hashtags than bills passed, more about retweets than real change. And when you strip away the lighting and the applause, there's nothing underneath except a hollow performance. Crockett was the living, breathing proof of that problem, and Gutfeld pulled back the curtain for millions to see. Even her defenders online couldn't rescue the moment. As soon as people dug up her old posts about Governor Abbott's wheelchair, the defense evaporated. How could a leader talk about inclusion, empathy, and progress while laughing at a disabled man's wheelchair? It was too blatant, too ugly to ignore. And while she tried to bury that contradiction in a flurry of passionate rants, Gutfeld kept dragging the conversation back to the facts. Where were her legislative wins? Where were her policy achievements? Where was the evidence she was more than just a trending face? Crockett had no answers. Every attempt to pivot fell apart. She leaned on emotion, but it fell flat. She tried sarcasm, but it collapsed. She waved her arms, changed topics, attacked the hosts. Nothing worked. Gutfeld didn't even flinch. That was the most devastating part. His calm, almost bored tone made the meltdown hurt even more, as if he'd seen it all before and barely had to try to unravel her performance. By the end of the segment, Crockett looked like a performer who had forgotten her lines, frozen on stage with no exit. She'd stepped into that studio expecting to cement her star status, but walked out as a cautionary tale. And the question left echoing in viewers' minds was devastatingly simple. What had she actually achieved? No legislation, no policy breakthroughs, just viral videos, dramatic gestures, and talking points built to rack up clicks. That's the bigger message that rang through this meltdown. Politics isn't meant to be a personal stage for influencers in suits. It's not a YouTube channel or an Instagram reel. It's supposed to deliver results that change lives. Gutfeld reminded everyone of that truth without ever screaming it. He just let Crockett collapse under her own illusions. And when the dust cleared, the difference between substance and spectacle was painfully obvious. Crockett's implosion will be studied for a long time, not just because it was dramatic, but because it showed what happens when you treat the floor of Congress like a performance venue. Her meltdown showed how quickly a viral star can become a cautionary punchline. Viewers didn't see a strong, visionary leader. They saw a desperate, panicking influencer stuck in a game she couldn't control. And that is why this moment matters. Far beyond Crockett alone. It is a warning shot for an entire generation of politicians who think they can, replace results with volume or hashtags with policy. Sooner or later, the spotlight will turn harsh, the applause will stop, and someone will ask real questions. If you don't have answers, you'll collapse just like Crockett did. This wasn't about left versus right. It wasn't even about Greg Gutfeld versus Jasmine Crockett. It was about truth versus illusion. Gutfeld exposed that illusion in the most devastating way possible. By barely lifting a finger, he let her words defeat her. He let the evidence speak for itself. And when that happens, no spin machine in the world can put the pieces back together. So the next time a politician treats your vote like a social media trend, remember what happened here. Remember how fast the flashy moments crumbled under simple questions. And remember that hashtags can never pass laws. It takes more than a viral mic drop moment to deliver real change. If you're tired of clout-chasing politicians who want fame more than results, then you're in the right place. We'll keep shining a light on the illusions, exposing the contradictions, and breaking through the circus act. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments, because this is only the beginning. The curtain has been pulled back, and it's time to see who's really running the show.